Hi everybody, Canadian Moto Gal here, and a beautiful day to head out for a ride. Woo! It is so nice out. I don't know if I'm going to get another bike, but I'm kind of thinking about it. I have been contemplating upgrading, which I honestly didn't think I'd really be that interested in doing. Right now what's happening is, as you know, I absolutely, definitely adore my Honda 250. It's a 2012. I currently have 17,000 clicks on it, or to be exact now, I have 17,025 clicks on it. It's a fabulous bike. I've loved it for a lot of reasons. It's a super excellent starter bike. It's going to be hard to get rid of this bike. I'm actually thinking about keeping this one and getting something else, because I mean, this is paid for. It was definitely not an expensive bike to buy. It is actually a really nice commuter. It's very, very comfortable. I can actually do rides that are relatively long on it. I mean, I've driven to, the furthest I've gone out on this thing is about 5 hours away from here, and so believe it or not, I actually did almost a 10-hour round trip, and it was great. The only real stops I did was to stop for fuel and that type of thing. But onwards, okay, so what kind of bike am I looking for? I don't know. Like I said, I love this bike. It's going to be, I feel almost like I'm abandoning it. I don't know. Does that sound really stupid? But I'm so sorry, my little poo-poo. I love you. But I think it's time to maybe get something different. There's Mr. PG. Hello, Mr. PG. Something along the lines of like a dual sport would be nice. I would really like to be able to go where it's a little more like gravelly and that type of thing. There's a couple parks I actually took this bike down to, and it was, unfortunately, I ran out of recording time, which was too bad, because I'm still shocked to this day that I made it to the bottom. And it was like, seriously, like the bumps and divots were, and the loose gravel was crazy, but I did it. It just wasn't exactly the funnest activity I've ever done. This bike was not easy to handle on there, but it was totally doable. But yeah, a dual sport might be kind of cool, but I have actually found a couple smaller dual sports, but they're only like 200, 250s, and they have a decent seat height. I'm 5'4.5", so I'm not really super keen. I know it's doable, and people are like, oh, don't worry about how high the seat is and all that kind of jazz. I am just not into a seat height of 36 inches. I'm sorry, I'm just not. This bike, the seat height is 30.5, and I find it's perfect. It works out really good. I can tippy toe it, and if it's off to the side, I can almost flat foot it totally fine, which again, I know you don't need to do that, but for my own comfort, I prefer to do that because I ride where the roads tend to be pretty crappy, and it's really easy to lose my footing. So I like being able to have that option. I don't want to have to shift my weight around all the time just to be able to reach the ground. So I'm sticking to something that's got a lower seat height. So anyway, I did find a couple bikes that might meet that criteria. But then on the same note, I'm just not so sure how comfortable they would be to ride around. Most of my riding is, aside from just burning around town like I am today for my vlog, most of my riding is on the highway or on secondary highways. So I kind of want something that's definitely got some power to it, and something that also is comfortable and that is not going to be too rough of a ride. Kind of want something a little bit more fun maybe, and maybe I could just get the dual sport for those weekends that I want to just go exploring and keep this one maybe. But I also am finding that I am often wishing this bike had a little bit more juice to it. I'm at the point where it doesn't bother me, and I don't drive like stupid for the most part. Yes, I do still speed, I'm not going to lie about that. Previous ambulance person, paramedic here who drove an ambulance, and I don't do that anymore. But man, I miss being able to speed and being totally legal about it. So I do like speed, but I don't ride super stupid, so I'm not looking for something that's like 1,000, like a liter bike or nothing like that. I don't need that kind of stuff. Fireblade Pilot from Hawaii was asking me, when are you going to get a bigger bike? You know, have you thought about the Honda, the CBR, the 500? And I'm like, oh, totally. It's like, I love that bike, and it was on my short list of an upgrade. I just don't know if I want something like different altogether. Do I want to stick with this? Do I want something like style-wise completely different? I don't really know. I do definitely love the CBR500, and I might actually go with that. I haven't decided yet, but I don't need anything more than that. Definitely not. If you have any kind of recommendations, what I was kind of looking for was something along the lines of a seat height of about 31.5 or less. Nothing like super fancy, nothing super pricey. I'm open to your other suggestions. No cruisers, that's just not my thing. But definitely I would consider another sport bike. Not hugely Ninja maybe, but I find I like the riding position on this bike because it's a little bit more upright, but you can also, it can be a little bit of a sport position as well. I just don't like something where I'm like in a 100% standard position all the time, or in that kind of sitting back position. I don't like that. I have thought also about kind of an adventure touring bike, but those all seem to be really big bikes, and I really don't need that. It would be nice once, maybe if I start doing some trips with it, then yeah, maybe, but I just don't really foresee that as being as practical of a bike for me around town. But again, I am open to those suggestions as well. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'd like something fun, something easy to handle. In other words, when I say easy to handle, I like a bike that's really responsive and doesn't feel sluggish or really like heavy. Here we go. Something like that's okay, but I don't know. To me, that might actually work, but I think I didn't even see what that was. I was not paying attention. I don't think it was a V-Strom. I don't think it was a KLR, but I've thought about a KLR. I can sit on it. My husband had bought a Mercedes, and it was okay. I didn't find it really comfortable for me for whatever reason when I sat on it. It just wasn't really my thing. And it was a really nice bike, and it was quite comfortable, but it just didn't feel like it suited me. This bike just feels like it suits me. The first time I ever sat on a CBR, right away, the first thing I said was, this is what I'm getting. I totally knew right away. And I was hoping I could maybe find another bike that makes me feel like that. So anyhow, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, shoot a comment down below, or connect up with me, send me a message. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would love to hear them. That's about it for me. Have a great week, everybody, and we will hopefully see you next week.